Good morning. I'm Richard, and this is
Paul.
And this is
Sunday Chat.
It is. It's Sunday morning, and let's just get one thing straight, shall we? This is not a foot rustling competition.
All right.
This is not a live show.
Isn't it?
No, it's not a live show.
Oh, we did.
Paul, shush.
It doesn't go out live.
It's not a live show, it's pre-recorded. It's always pre-recorded on a Sunday morning.
Because it's Sunday Chat.
Oh, Jesus. It's always recorded on a Sunday morning and is put out, released,
Broadcast.
published, whatever, on a Sunday afternoon. So there's no point in typing hi or hello in here, because we're not going to respond immediately to you.
Though we will respond.
We will respond. We always respond. Always. It's a panty liner, isn't it, always?
It is, yes. Got some for Mum the other day.
Yes.
But they weren't that brand. Other brands are available.
So, Paul. Oh, it's beautiful.
It is, isn't it?
Beautiful, ethereal shadows.
You can't see, but
No.
the sun is shining. Well, the sun does shine, doesn't it? But it's through a bush, a beauty bush, Calicarpa, and also through our palm tree. And it's making fantastic...
Well, it's not, actually. It's reflection.
Oh,
from-
yeah.
The sun is shining on a window or a wall.
Yeah, reflecting
through.
the Calicarpa and the palm tree.
Beautiful. 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 How nice to appreciate the beauty of nature.
Is that a cobweb?
It most certainly is not a cobweb, Paul. I dusted the architrave yesterday.
Just below.
Oh, well, maybe I missed a bit.
You've been a bit grumpy this morning, haven't you?
Well, not surprised living with you. Really, it's enough to drive somebody insane.
All because the dishwasher didn't wash the dishes. Actually, I did wash the dishes.
This is the new dishwasher, which already appears to be slightly faulty.
No, it's not. It's not.
Better not be.
The flap didn't open, and when your flap doesn't open, that's an issue, because then your thing can't drop out. And
If you haven't got a dishwasher, there is a small compartment that the dishwasher tablet fits into, and very occasionally it goes through the whole cycle without releasing the tablet into the machine. Yes, it's very annoying, especially when there's burnt on food.
It wasn't burnt on food.
Well, it was a cheese sauce.
It was cheese sauce. It wasn't burnt.
Cheese sauce is always notoriously difficult to get off in a dishwasher.
Proteins.
And porridge. That's
Proteins.
hard as
Proteins.
well. We had porridge for breakfast, didn't we, Paul? Yes, we did.
Scrambled egg.
It was nice, wasn't it, the porridge?
Scrambled egg.
Scrambled eggs hard to get off to in a dishwasher. Some people might be saying, well, why have you got a dishwasher? Because we can't be bothered to stand there for half an hour after dinner. And inevitably things get left, don't they, when you don't have a dishwasher?
Do they?
Yes. The kitchen gets left looking filthy all night. I can't bear that. I like it to be shut away.
I do like to come down to a clean kitchen in the morning. Doesn't always happen, but generally it does.
That's why we've got a dishwasher.
And you can put things in.
Put things
But
in.
yeah, put things in the dishwasher, because the dishwasher would be pointless if you couldn't put things in.
And our dishwasher is on a...
Yeah.
That was a new language.
Has an economy cycle that takes about 3 days.
I wasn't going to say that.
It does have an economy cycle.
Our dishwasher and our washing machine are in a utility room, away from the main kitchen.
Well, next to.
Next to. Yes, it makes us sound like we've got a huge mansion, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
We
like
haven't.
Kew Palace Royal Kitchen. No, Kew Palace Royal Kitchen. That's actually about 300 metres away from the house, wasn't it? Isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. We
Now,
don't
how-
have anything like that.
How is the allotment doing after the horrendous weather that we've been having recently? It's still windy, very windy. I've noticed our buddleia in the back garden
Yeah.
is FUCK'd. Totally
Yeah.
gone, blown.
But that's
Snapped.
fine because it will come back next year. Buddleia, cut it right down to the ground, it will come back. So that's absolutely fine.
Yes, but Paul,
But it does have flowers
we
on
lose the colour. We lose the
We do,
beautiful purple gorgeousness that is buddleia at this time of year. Plus, the bees and the butterflies won't have any food.
it. No.
No.
I don't know.
Oh.
I haven't. I went down yesterday. So we had a lot of rain on Friday. Quite a bit of rain on Friday. Heavy rain. Then we had some wind. I went down yesterday, and the bean arch and the cheeky prince arch, which was sort of nice and erect, is now sort of that shape. That was before we got the strong winds yesterday. So I haven't been down yet. After this I'll be going down, seeing whether our tomato frames are up, seeing whether the bean frame has come down anymore. If it has, that's life. I should have put bigger stakes in and
Yeah.
done it better, but I didn't. So, but as long as the roots haven't come out of the plant, and as long as the none of the squash have been crushed, which I don't think they will have been, I will just leave it.
You
and
could have- there
let
was a
them carry on growing.
Comedy opportunity there, Paul.
For
You
what?
missed it.
I did, yeah. I was thinking about what I'm going to be doing.
Could have
that's
used
why.
the word, the squash have been squashed.
I could have done, but
Couldn't
I
you?
didn't.
But you didn't, no.
No.
Shame.
So yeah, there we are. Whether any more beans have come down, or whether, well, I don't know. I will find out later when I go down. So there we are.
Dear.
But I'm not going to. I did think if everything has broken from the roots, then I will harvest anything that I can and save anything I can and put brassicas in the place. But if the roots are still in the ground and the stalks haven't broken from the roots, I'll just leave it. There's no point with our frame, because it's quite large, there's no point, and also the metal has bent as well, I saw the other day. There's no point in bringing it back upright because it will most probably just fall over again.
But the metal shouldn't have bent, should it really? Is this a cheap arch that you got hold of, Paul?
No, it's the arch that was sent by one of our subscribers, wasn't it?
Thank you so much for sending that beautiful arch.
It is a rose arch, and
So
I
it
think,
wasn't meant to be used to put beans on.
No, but it was suggested I could do that, and
But
I did.
think you should have put it into the ground a little bit further.
Well, it couldn't. It was in the ground as far, but I could have put some posts,
Yes.
some big wooden posts in, because effectively it was so large. It's about 2.4 meters wide and it's about 2.2 meters high, and because it's covered in Gigante's butterbean leaves,
Well, it's a sale,
and
isn't it?
also the pumpkin stroke squash leaves, it is just a wall and created a sail.
And of course, at this time of year, we don't normally get high winds, really. Because
Not like yesterday.
no, but this is the thing, isn't it? You get high winds at this time of year, everything's covered in leaves, so
Yeah.
there's bound to be damage. It's a shame.
At the community
Terrible shame.
gardens yesterday, we had a Saturday social down there, which is our working party, and there is an enormous poplar tree. It's absolutely beautiful. But where the community gardens is, there's the canal and therefore a canal path, and the canal path is between the community gardens and the canal, and the poplar has grown, as they do, and one of the branches had actually sort of come down, So not come down as in broken, but it had grown down. And in the high winds, you could see that the branches were sort of coming down low enough so that if somebody was cycling along there, they could quite easily cycle into it.
Oh, dear.
So yesterday, as part of our working party, we did actually sort that out. But because it's such a big tree, and we took off a sizable amount to secure the pathway, to reduce the danger of going along and hitting your head along there, we also did some balancing work on the other side to make sure that we balanced the tree. Because what you'd never want to do with something is take all the weight off one side. Because if it's grown that way, it's grown in a sort of balance. So when you take something off one side of a big tree like that, you need to take something off the other side as well.
Well, it makes sense, doesn't it, Paul?
Yeah. When a branch dies and dies back, obviously that wood dries out. But over the time that wood dries out, the tree sort of balances that drying as well. So when you do have broken branches that are dried, or broken branches, you can take those off. And in fact, we had to take off a big branch that had fallen from maybe about 40 foot up the tree. It had fallen down to about 15 foot up the tree, something like that.
Dangerous.
Which we hadn't seen until we started doing the work yesterday. Because again, that's another thing. That was a dead branch, which even though it was dry and dead, it still weighed quite a bit. And that falling on somebody wouldn't be good.
Would have been disastrous.
So we took that down as well.
Oh,
So
lovely.
it was a good day at
And
the
how did you
community
cut
gardens.
them off?
We used one of those, they're like sort of like Japanese saws, but we get them in Lidl every now and again.
What are they like?
You've seen them, they're the yellow ones.
Japanese saws.
The yellow ones that flip out and you just cut them.
Really?
I could go and get one if you wanted to see
No,
it.
I don't think so. No, but I'm just thinking you explaining these large branches, and normally it's people with chainsaws.
Well, the branch was about maybe 6 inches, 7 inches thick,
Yeah.
so it was quite thick at the end. The other thing that you should do is when you're taking down a big branch, do not take it down from the tree side. You have to take the weight off it. So if you're taking a big branch off a tree, cut it down from
Yes.
the leaf end.
Otherwise it might rip off.
It may rip off and that would damage the tree more. So you take the weight
Logical.
off in sections.
Well, it's the same when you're pruning a bush,
Yes.
isn't it?
Also, when you're pruning something, don't pull the branch or the stem to you to cut it. Make sure you hold the stem where it is and put your secateurs to the stem to cut it. Because again, if you pull something and then you cut it, that sort of springiness of the stem can damage your cut, so you won't get a clean cut and you could introduce disease through that.
Yes. Oh, that's
There
lovely.
we are.
Well, that's bonus gardening knowledge.
It's a bit of a wily Wednesday on a Sunday chat. Are you a bit bleary-eyed this morning?
No, not at all. Paul, you wanted to say thank you, didn't you?
Oh yes, Christina, thank you very much for the beetroot and carrot seeds that you sent through. That's really kind. And I've made a note in my notebook and also on my electronic notebook on my computer when I need what the names are and who they come from, so that hopefully when we do updates next year we can get people's names right. Because you very often go, oh, we got these seeds from, and then can't remember.
Which is terribly rude, Paul.
It is.
Terribly rude.
So I'm not sure, can I sow some of those beetroot?
You're asking me?
I'm not sure. I'm not asking you.
No.
I'm not asking you. I'm just wondering, I'll have to see. I think it's mostly a bit late to sow some beetroot now, but yeah, I'll have a look.
Oh.
Have a look at those varieties.
And you also wanted to talk about the pollination of squash,
Yeah.
Paul.
I learned something yesterday I didn't know. Well, I mean, we learn something every day.
We're excited already, Paul. We're brimming over with enthusiasm for what you're going to say. I can't wait. Tell us now.
Squash. I thought a bee would visit a squash and pollinate it and go away, and that squash would be pollinated.
Well, yeah.
Or the cucurbit, because I think this is true for many cucurbits. But actually, a squash plant, squash flower, can take up to about 10 or 12 visits from a bee to be fully pollinated.
What?
And effectively, if you don't have all the segments of that flower pollinated correctly, that's when you get misshapen veg, or veg that form and then they die back.
So, hold on, let me understand this. The flower thing inside is made up of different things, different segments.
Yeah, different spots.
And each area needs to have
pollination.
a bee
or an insect.
Putting the pollen on it.
Yes.
Each bit. And if each bit isn't hit, then the fruit will be wonky.
Yeah.
Oh.
And this article, I need to do some more research, but this article said that certain areas will pollinate, need pollination so that the skin forms correctly, or that the shape forms correctly, or the seeds inside themselves grow so that they can be used again, or that the flesh inside grows. So when you see something, when you see a yellow fruit, let's say, on a squash, and this can be on courgettes and cucumbers and other things like that as well, and it's not growing the way you expect it to, the best thing to do is to remove it, and if it is edible, eat it. If it's not, obviously pop it onto the compost heap, because until the plant knows that that is gone, if you see what I mean, and the dying process is it throwing it away effectively, you may not get any more female flowers, you may just get male flowers. So there's been a number of people who've been talking about they've only got male flowers, and maybe that's something to do with that. But that is something I'm going to have to research over the next couple of months, because it's something completely new I didn't know about. One of our cheeky prints is oval in shape. So what I think now, from this article I read yesterday, is that the skin or the fruit, the flower was not pollinated correctly, so the shape is not forming correctly. It'll still hopefully make it edible because it's growing, but it's certainly not like the cheeky prints that we had last year.
Anyway, what else, Paul? We wanted to talk about books. Books. Books.
What books are you reading at the moment?
Anything with pictures.
We did mention last week after after my visit to the gin distillery in Harrington, that they had this botanical wheel where they had grown plants which were of sort of nutty and fruity and citrusy, and they were in a sort of wheel. And we mentioned a book called The Flavour Thesaurus. Thesaurus. And Richard got it for me several years ago.
No, I didn't get it for you.
Who got it for me?
No, it was given to us by a friend. I think it might have been Natasha.
Was it?
Who gave it to us.
Oh, I didn't know that. Thanks, Natasha.
I think.
Thanks, whoever gave it to us. But it's The Flavour Thesaurus.
Thesaurus, not thesaurus. It's not a dinosaur.
And
really?
It's a 360-degree spectrum of
Yes.
flavours.
Spectrum.
So in this book, you can see how pairings of things go together. So you've got the spectrum at the front, but then inside, it's not a recipe book. Inside, let's just open it up. There's, we opened up to a meat one, but how bacon and hard cheese go together,
Well,
and
yes, of course.
I mean, the rearing of pigs and making of cheese is slightly intertwined anyway,
Is
because
it?
of because what you make from cheese, the liquids and things can actually be fed to pigs and things like that. Bacon and onion, which obviously go together, but then you get things that you might not know. When it explains it, like coriander leaf and orange. It says when people say coriander leaf adds zest to foods, they're closer to the literal truth than they may realise. And then it goes into why those flavours actually work well together. And I just think it's useful because sometimes I think we've always had those, well, all of us will have experienced times where we've eaten something and we've gone, that doesn't sort of quite work.
Plenty of times, Paul.
I've experimented quite a lot.
On me.
You'll never forget the rosemary and chicken, will you, years ago?
Disgusting.
I used rosemary needles, dried rosemary.
Well, they're not
And they were
called
like-
needles.
they were
Paul,
like-
they're leaves.
They were like pine needles.
It's disgusting.
It was horrible.
Absolutely foul.
And I also made a special satay one day, which was also...
It was disgusting.
What did you say that tasted
It tasted like an ashtray. It did. Truly.
Have you ever tasted an ashtray?
Probably. Probably.
So anyway, it's a good book. I'm sure there are other resources now online. When was this published? We got it
Quite a while ago.
shortly after it was published.
Very good.
Anyway,
Very good book.
can't actually see when it was
But I
published.
mean, I think it's useful because
2010.
you might have a few things available to cook and you're wondering whether those things will go together. This book could help. So I think it's useful for really looking at what you've got, herb-wise maybe,
Or citrus-wise.
and also looking at creating new dishes
Yeah.
as well. You know, because we're always on the lookout for something new. So that's a good one. The flavour thesaurus.
Flavour thesaurus.
Yes. Now, what else have you been reading, Paul,
Well,
recently?
one that I am really enjoying at the moment.
Nice cover.
One of our friends, Angela Clutton, who actually is one of the people that works at Borough Market. In fact, she does the book club at Borough Market, and she is a food writer, and I know her and her husband from a long time ago when we were all at Bill Kenwright Limited many years ago. And Angela is on Twitter. If you look up Angela Clutton on Twitter.
Is she on Instagram as well?
No, I think she's only on Twitter. She may be on Instagram, but I know she's on Twitter. That's her main focus for her social media. And she mentioned this book, Charred, by Genevieve Taylor. Now this is it says, what's it say there?
I can't read it from
The
there, Paul.
complete
The
guide.
complete to You asked me what it said there. I'm now going to read it. Charred. The Complete Guide to Vegetarian Grilling and Barbecue by Genevieve Taylor.
Genevieve.
Genevieve. Is it good?
It's really good.
Has it got
is
pictures?
one of the. It's got pictures.
Oh, good.
But it's one of the. I've written two here: watermelon, halloumi, and lime pickled red onions.
Do those
Now-
flavours go together? Have you checked them in the flavour
They
thesaurus?
will do, because they're in here.
Oh.
We're going to have that this evening.
Are we?
We've got halloumi, we've got our own red onions, we've got some limes. We don't have watermelon. but I will be able to get watermelon at the shop on our high street. So we're going to have that tonight with a salad. Yes.
Oh.
There's also another one which I particularly liked, and that was rainbow chard, cheddar and mango chutney toasties.
No.
Which looks absolutely lovely.
No.
He doesn't like chutneys. He
No.
doesn't like mango chutney, piccalilli, onion chutney.
No, I don't like any
Marrow
kind of
chutney.
No, none of them. I hate them
Pickled
all.
runner beans. So he doesn't like those, but that one sounded really nice
I
to
don't
me.
want anything with mango chutney on it. I don't want fruit all over my savoury dishes.
So I'm just going to... But
No.
it is literally one of those books, one of those rare books, I think, that you open up virtually any page and you think, that sounds really nice.
Let me test that. Shall we test that theory? Okay, randomly selecting. Well, it does look quite nice, actually. Well, another random selection. Oh, that looks lovely. Can't we have something like that instead?
Are you going to cook it?
No.
No, you can't.
Another random selection. Oh, that's a motto. No, I'm not sure about those. I don't want those. I don't want anything wrapped in a leaf.
He doesn't like things wrapped in leaves.
Those
Let me
look
have
nice.
it back.
You've nearly broken the book.
Yeah, so
I heard
if I open
crack.
it, then the viewers can enjoy this as well. So lentil stuffed courgettes, ricotta, fresh mint sauce. Lovely. Portobello mushroom stuffed with borlotti beans. Stuffed with borlotti beans and taleggio.
Who?
Grilled globe artichokes.
I don't want artichokes, thank you very much.
Carrot and cumin fritters
Now that
with
sounds
tahini
nice.
and coriander yogurt.
Lovely.
Smoky sweet corn polenta cakes with green tomato salsa. White bean grilled pepper and mozzarella burgers with fresh tomato
Is there
relish.
a picture of that one? No.
Oh, look at that one. Tofu, mushroom and sesame burgers with kimchi. Again, he wouldn't like kimchi.
I don't want kimchi.
Mexican black bean burger, avocado, chipotle, sour cream.
That looks nice.
Grilled asparagus and flour sprouts.
That's
vegan
fine.
aioli.
And close the book now and stop reading the whole thing out to
So
everybody.
it really it's a book which I only got about a week ago. I think it only came out about a week ago, and I've dipped into it. I haven't made anything from it yet.
No.
I wish I'd seen the carrot and cumin fritters a few days ago, because I did do a carrot and potato fritter, didn't I?
Yes.
Which
you did.
was nice
Cloying.
flavour, but a bit cloying because it
Plaggy.
could have done without the potato.
Chewy.
Actually. Did you eat it all?
Of course. Thank you, Paul, for Book Corner.
Book corner. Am I in the book corner? Yeah. What else?
I think that's probably it.
What are we doing this week?
Back to work tomorrow.
Thank God. Look, the sun's gone in now.
As usual, back to work. It's going to be busy, I guess.
Why is it going to be busy? It's in
Pardon
the
me?
middle of the holiday season. Is it
Because
busy?
it has been.
Right.
It's been unbelievably busy. Crazy. Social care at the moment is wildly busy. And that's it.
Will our tomatoes ripen this week? But I've really...
Because we do like red tomatoes.
Well, you love red tomatoes.
We will eat green tomatoes, but we do like the red tomatoes. Nothing like a ripe tomato.
No. We love tomato and cheese on toast.
Oh, we
Absolutely adore it.
We do.
And the Amish paste tomatoes are just divine.
Yeah,
for that.
yeah. Oh.
But really, I mean, we had been picking tomatoes this time
this
last
time.
year for about 2.5 weeks.
Definitely.
So it
Oh, well.
really is so different.
Oh,
and
well.
I don't know. I think we may be having some green tomato curry
Yes.
in the coming week,
But not
because
chutney.
it wouldn't surprise me if when I get down to the allotment today, some of those tomatoes have fallen.
Oh,
so we will check that out.
Yes. Oh well. It's the way of things.
It is the way of things. It is the way of things.
Sometimes the weather is good. Sometimes the weather is bad.
Yeah.
That's it, isn't it? Nothing you can do to control the weather.
Well, there's nothing we can do to control the weather, but we can cut back on our carbon footprint to reduce climate change, because I'm sure this is all about climate change.
I'm sure it is. And, some people would say that people are controlling the weather. No, they're not. No, they're not.
Yeah, there are some people who think,
They're not.
plane trails?
There's no such thing as all of that. Get onto this reality level.
Well, there are plane trails.
Really. But they're not chemtrails.
Oh,
They don't
that's it,
have
chemtrails, that's it,
planes spraying chemicals into the atmosphere to control the people. It's a load of old BS.
Well,
okay?
I'm not.
Alright.
I don't think that the chemtrails are that, certainly, but I'm sure that things get sprayed into the atmosphere.
Not deliberately.
Well, I'm not sure about that.
Oh, Paul, don't even go there.
But not chemtrails. Chemtrails are
Well,
actually.
what do you think
when
things being sprayed into the atmosphere are?
Yeah,
They're
but
chemicals.
Not plane trails
They're
are
contrails.
the heat of the
It's
engine
contrails.
heating up, creating.
Yeah. Contrails.
That's, yeah.
Not chemtrails. There's no such thing.
Contrails. Contrails.
C-O-N.
Right.
Condensate trails.
Oh
aren't
yeah,
they?
yeah.
Yeah.
Effectively, that's what
Yeah.
they are. Yeah. I've got an itchy hand.
Oh dear. We're going now.
What else are we doing this
No,
week?
that's it. Nothing. Work.
I need
We're
to
not
do
going
reading.
anywhere.
I
We need to
do
try and
reading.
find a car.
Well, we have seen online that the spheres on our car can actually be changed, supposedly not expensively. So our guy is away at the moment, and when he's back, we're going to ask him.
But we
about
still
that.
need to get another vehicle, Paul. I'm sorry, we do.
Well, we don't need another vehicle. We only need one car.
Yes, but you use that car like a truck to put loads of things, compost and things. You're not going to be able to do that in a new car.
Oh, we better not get a new car then. We better just change the spheres on this one and use this one.
Well, I'll buy myself a new car, shall I?
Well, it won't be a new car.
Well,
will it?
it'll be new to us.
New to us. Yeah.
And then you won't be able to drive it. You
Yeah.
can drive the old one.
That's okay. Yeah. I won't have to pay for the insurance.
Yeah, I can afford that. I've got money put away.
It's sunny again now. It's
Yes,
gone
you've
from
just
sunny
said that.
to grey, and now the sun's coming out.
We're
again.
going now. Goodbye.
Is there anything else?
No, that's it. That's all of it done and dusted.
I'm going to go to the
For another
allotment.
week. Good,
Yes, good.
frankly.
Bye.
Bye for now. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you to all our new subscribers who are all fresh and shiny and gorgeous. And to our old subscribers too, who are all
Crinkly.
not so shiny.
And not so shiny.
We're joking. It's a joke. Okay?
We haven't mentioned Planet Vegetaria.
We'll mention it now.
Planet
Quick.
Vegetaria, our Facebook group on Facebook. Search for Planet Vegetaria.
Stop jiggling
The
like a
Facebook group.
jiggler. I can feel the whole sofa vibrating. It's like a bloody earthquake.
It's hardly an
Oh,
earthquake.
it's like a tremor.
Jiggly left RuPaul's.
She did.
Yeah.
But that's
We're watching.
an old
That's an old
series.
one. That's series 4.
It's not
We're rewatch. Well, we're not rewatching, but we're
So it's
watching
irrelevant.
old series.
So thank you so
Well,
much.
you mentioned Jiggly.
Bloody thank you. And that's it. See you in the week for some impromptu vlogs and blogs and things. Follow us on Facebook, Planet Vegetaria, and Instagram, and of course
Twitter.
Twitter, that other thing that people use, that I don't use.
No, he doesn't use that.
No.
He does Instagram, I do Twitter.
Well, it's so much better.
Are you touching my leg?
Yes, I'm willing you to stop. God's sake. We're going now. Goodbye.
Bye!
Goodbye.